building a city on a knife-edge ridge with no cranes, no mortar, and secret tunnels hiding beneath your feet? Totally normal Inca weekend project. Machu Picchu's architects weren't messing around. They hauled multi-ton granite blocks nearly a mile uphill, chiseled them into perfect interlocking shapes to survive Category 2 seismic shakes, and just to flex dug a 1.7 kilometers network of stone-lined tunnels under the Sun Temple rediscovered only last year. Over 500 years later, it still stands as a testament to Inca gravity-defying engineering. No mortar, no machinery, just pure ingenuity. Strap in, because next we'll journey back to mid-15th century Peru to see how this mountaintop marvel first took shape. In the early 1400s, the Inca Empire known as Tawantinsuyu, or the Four Regions, was rapidly rising to power. Centered in Cusco, it was the largest empire in pre-Columbian America, stretching across modern-day Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Chile, and parts of Argentina. This was the reign of Pachacuti Inca Yupanqui, the empire's ninth ruler, who ascended to power around 1438 CE after defeating the rival Chanca people in a legendary battle where even boulders were said to have risen to defend Cusco, as recorded in later Quechua oral histories. Pachacuti was more than a warrior. He was a reformer and visionary. He centralized administration, expanded the Mita labor system, and likely commissioned the construction of Machu Picchu as both a royal estate and sacred ceremonial site dedicated to Inti, the sun god. At its height, the Inca Empire had a population of 10–12 million people, and no written language but used quipus, not records, oral storytelling, and incredibly efficient runners on their 25,000-mile road system to manage it all. This was a civilization built on reciprocity and labor. Instead of money, people paid taxes by contributing time to construction projects, farming, or military service. This is how a royal retreat like Machu Picchu could be staffed with engineers, masons, and astronomer priests from all across the empire, because in Inca society, labor was sacred. So when Pachacuti said, "Let's build a mountaintop paradise," nobody blinked. They just grabbed a llama, packed some chisels, and got to work. Around 1450 CE, Inca surveyors, think mountaintop civil engineers in loincloths, scoured the Urubamba Valley for the perfect spot. They settled on a 800-meter ridge wedged between two river bends, offering natural defenses on three sides and year-round water from nearby springs. Using simple sighting rods and horizon markers, they aligned key structures to solstitial sunrise and sunset points, proof that long before Google Earth, the Incas had star-naved down cold. Before stones met Earth, the Incas carved temporary ramps and switchbacks directly into the mountainside. These goat trail narrow roads, barely wider than two llamas, allowed teams of 20–30 workers to haul blocks from the quarry quarter-mile away. Ropes spun from ichu grass and wooden rollers kept everything moving uphill. Picture medieval CrossFit. Each taxpayer's mitre shift hauled 1 3-ton blocks using nothing but muscle, planks, and a lot of mud for lubrication. Granodiorite boulders lay scattered above the site, ideal for building but stubborn to shape. Masons pounded harder stones against the granite in a pecking process, then wedged in water-swelling wooden plugs to split blocks along precise lines. This no-blast method produced custom blocks with minimal waste. After splitting, stones were roughly shaped at the quarry, then fine-tuned on-site to millimeter accuracy so precise that modern scientists still can't slide a razor blade between many joints. Machu Picchu's signature ashlar walls, where stones interlock without mortar, aren't just art. They're earthquake insurance. Recent geotechnical studies show foundation soils with high bearing capacity, thanks to 2 layers: a gravel Inca-controlled fill and solid granodioritic bedrock. During tremors, these precisely cut stones can jiggle and reseat without collapse, an ancient shock absorber centuries ahead of its time. To conquer the 45-degree slope, builders carved out terraces up to 10 meters wide. Each terrace began with a trench filled with coarse rocks for drainage, followed by layers of sand and topsoil, creating microclimates for different crops. Retaining walls of dressed stone held it all in place. Meanwhile, a network of stone-lined channels channeled spring water past fountains and cisterns, ensuring that daily 2 m of rainfall never turned plazas into slip-and-slides. Machu Picchu reads like a carefully plotted screenplay. At the highest point sits the Temple of the Sun, its curved walls echoing the sun's arc and aligning to the June solstice sunrise. Below, the royal sector boasts trapezoidal windows framing the Urubamba Gorge. The residential zone clusters around plazas with guardhouses and communal kitchens. All drainage lines converge on hidden outlets, keeping the heart of the city bone dry even in monsoon season. Contrary to forced slavery myths, the Inca Mita rotated laborers from across the empire. Farmers became masons for months at a time, living in temporary dormitories with priest-mason overseers and ritual feasts to honor Pachacuti's vision. Estimates suggest 501,000 permanent residents, priests, nobles, artisans, and farmers whose diets combined high-altitude potatoes with fresh trout from lower valleys. Every block moved was a communal act of devotion. By 1460 CE, Machu Picchu gleamed, thatched roofs over finely cut walls, botanical gardens with maize and coca, and stone benches overlooking the river gorge. The Intihuatana hitching post of the sun acted as an astronomical calendar, its shadow marking equinoxes and solstice, critical for planting seasons. While Spanish conquistadors ravaged lowland cities, Machu Picchu's remote elevation kept it hidden, its mystical aura preserved beneath mist and moss until the 20th century. Through ingenious surveying, rock splitting without explosives, seismic resilient construction and unparalleled water management, the Incas transformed a sheer cliff into one of history's most enduring marvels. Next up, we'll explore what happened when this mountaintop paradise was abruptly abandoned, and how it re-emerged in modern times. By the mid-1500s, Machu Picchu had been largely abandoned. Scholars propose several intertwined causes: the death of Pachacutec triggering royal estate rotations, devastating epidemics, smallpox and measles sweeping the Andean highlands, and political turmoil following the Spanish conquest. Its remote location, hidden by dense cloud forest growth, kept it off Spanish records and allowed vegetation to cloak its walls for centuries. In July 1911, Yale historian Hiram Bingham, guided by local farmer Melchor Arteaga, conducted the first documented archaeological excavation at the site, bringing Machu Picchu to international attention. Bingham's 1913 National Geographic coverage galvanized global interest, and subsequent research revealed intricate agricultural terraces, astronomical alignments, and advanced drainage systems, reinforcing its status as a royal estate and ceremonial center. Recognizing its universal value, UNESCO designated Machu Picchu a World Heritage Site in 1983, and Peru established it as a historic sanctuary in 1982. Today, ongoing conservation efforts balance preservation with sustainable tourism, ensuring that this mountaintop marvel endures for future generations. And that's how a precarious ridge turned into one of the world's most iconic archaeological wonders. From Pachacuti's vision and coordinated Mita labor to precision-cut ashlar walls designed for earthquakes, Machu Picchu exemplifies Inca genius in engineering, astronomy, and urban planning. Today, its UNESCO World Heritage status and renewed carbon-neutral certification highlight ongoing efforts to preserve both its cultural legacy and fragile mountain ecosystem. As sustainable tourism measures and conservation projects ramp up in 2025, managing visitor flows through timed circuits and reinforcing ancient terraces, we're reminded that safeguarding Machu Picchu requires the same blend of innovation and respect that built it over 570 years ago. If you enjoyed this gravity-defying journey, smash that like button, subscribe to Infinitia Verity for more mind-blowing history, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite Inca fact or a wonder you want us to tackle? Drop it in the comments below.